Hello Eurovision friends, thank you so much for coming to my channel Eurovision Histories. If you know my channel, you know that Serbia is one of my pet countries in Eurovision, and so I was really excited to hear the 28 songs, a lot of songs that are competing in Pesma Euroviziju, the Serbian National Final for Eurovision 2024. And so in this video I will do two things. First of all, I will do a ranking with this great tier list and talk about each of the songs, what I like about them, what I don't like about them, and how I would rank them. And then later on, I will try to answer the question you can see on the screen right now: who should Serbia send to Eurovision 2024? I really love Serbia and Eurovision because they kind of do their own thing. They sing in their own language, which is always a plus for me. And some of my favorites in Eurovision history are from Serbia, like Jelko Joksimovic or Marija Serifovic. I do love a Balkan ballad, but I also love the more creative things they have done in the last couple of years with Konstrakta, for example, who obviously is back in this national final. And so I will talk about her song as well. So let's get right to it and change to the tier list. First of all, I want to talk about Marko Mandić with No, and this is already a great start. This has a medieval feel about it. It has a very cool driving beat. It has a hypnotic almost rhythm. I can almost imagine like a party in the Middle Ages or something like that. There's a part that is almost rap, and it is just incredibly catchy. It sounds very distinct and different. I think the lyrics are about drinking, if I got that correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, in the comments, and let me know what the lyrics are about if I'm wrong. But I really do love this song, and so this is a very good start because I'll put it in the amazing tier already. Then we have M.IRA with Percepcja. It's a song about changing your perspective and like looking at life in a more positive way. It's a very modern pop song. There's not a lot of traditional elements, which in Serbia is a bit the norm, I guess. There is a spoken part in English that really takes me out of this song, and I don't like that part. And that kind of ruined the song a little bit for me, and so I'll put that one in not my cup of tea. Then we have another good one, Bojana and David with No, No, No. A cool beat this has. It's a kind of turbo folk, but still subdued, so not too much, because too much turbo folk I can't handle. Her voice is quite turbo folky as well, and I like that. They work really well together. The flute that is added is a really nice touch, and I just think that a song like this is really needed in a competition like this, and I think it would be a nice touch in Eurovision as well. It is catchy, fun. It's a bit in the lane of Hurricane. And so this one for me is a great song. If I listen to it more, it might become an amazing song. Then we have Lena Kovačević with Zovi Milena, Call Me Lena. It's very jazzy and soft, which I like, especially coming after No, No, No. Quite an interesting distinction and contrast is what I wanted to say. She opened for Lara Fabian in Belgrade, and genre-wise, that makes a lot of sense. It kind of sounds a bit similar. The lyrics, she sings, Call me Lena. I am called Lena because of you, and I miss your voice. So that made me think maybe it's a parent that gave her the name, and she lost a parent, but apparently her parents are still alive. Maybe it's someone she was named after. If you do know, let me know in the comments, because I'm really intrigued by that. Overall, I think it's a good song, but in a very strong competition like this one, it's a bit on the boring side, unfortunately, for me personally. Then we have Saša Baša, Virtual Ritual. This is an 80s retro song, quite an interesting and quite out there sound, to be honest. I think it's about modern technology. They talk about computer games and maybe also dating online. And it's quite out there, but it's not really my cup of tea. If you've seen this channel before, you know that I'm not really into these kinds of songs, unfortunately. Then we have Martina Vrbos, Da me voliš, That You Love Me. It's good. I like the almost Latin guitar in the background. It is almost a Balkan ballad, but again, in a very strong competition like this one, there's just something missing for me to make the song really stand out. I think it's a bit on the boring side as well, unfortunately. Now we get to Filarri with Koje da žena. Wow. I mean, he has an amazing look. Just look at the image that they chose for him, or that he chose for himself, I guess. It is a dark, moody song. There is a great beat, an infectious chorus that just stays with you after the song ends. It creates an amazing atmosphere. It's almost like you're in a techno club. Really, really good, really catchy as well. I think he has a good voice. I do hope he has improved his performance skills a little bit from last year. Didn't really like that part, but for a song like this, the staging is key, I think, and I hope he has developed as a performer as well. The lyrics are almost the most interesting part about this song, because he sings, "I hid you because of the enemies, my other side. I'm screaming underwater. Who will hear me?" And the song is, of course, called "Who is this woman that is with me?" And I think it's a song about his female side. He's quite androgynous, and basically maybe society not accepting him. And that is a great topic for a song, and that makes the song even better for me. Musically and lyrically, it's really, really good. And that is why I will put it in the amazing tier, and actually before No for now. Next up, we have Breskvica with Knesto Orlovo, The Eagle's Nest. It's a song about going through a dark time. It has very dark themes in the lyrics. In the chorus, for example, it talks about the eagle's nest being destroyed by hail. But in the end, the very last part of the lyrics, it ends positively. And it's about basically there will be better times. It has very medieval themes, both in the lyrics, but also in the music. You can hear it. I love the Balkan influence that is very, very obvious in this song. The male choir adds a lot of oomph to this performance, and it feels almost like a trance as well, and is really, really catchy. And I really do like this song, so I'll put it, in the amazing tier for now. Yeah, I think that's correct. Then we have Christina with Bedem. It's a slow, quiet, spherical song. I never know whether that's the right word in English. Sphärische Klänge. It is beautiful, but it's also a bit on the boring side. It's about maybe I dreamt that we were in love, and then it makes sense that it's a bit like dreamy, the whole song. But in a strong competition like this, it's just a bit too slow and spherical. Then we have Ivana Vladović with Yaka. It starts with something like a speech in Spanish. I couldn't quite understand why it's there or what he says exactly, but the song is about being strong like a stone, strong as a woman as well, so a cool lyrical theme. It has a good start and a playful start as well, almost reminded me of Charoban a little bit, but then the beat sets in and the beat just sounds very dated to me, and that is kind of what doesn't make me enjoy this song, let me enjoy this song. It's also a bit repetitive. I do like the rap part, but overall it's just okay, I would say. Then we have Chai with Sama. Great name, Chai, to be honest. Another song that is very atmospheric, about love ending. Again, nice, but nothing too special for me. And so I'll put it in the not my cup of tea part. Then, however, we have a very good one, Zorja with Lik U Ogledalu, a beautiful voice, really nice what she can do with her voice. The song sounds like a movie soundtrack, almost like a Bond song. I love the strings in this that give the song a very interesting dynamic because they become faster and faster. There's brass as well. It builds and builds and builds into a dramatic climax. And as I said, it sounds really like a song from a movie and is really, really beautiful. The lyrics are about, I hate all these roles I have to fulfill. The road is steep. You think you can fix me, but love is blind. So maybe it's about all the roles women have to fulfill in society and how hard that is. Or maybe also about mental health when she talks about the road is steep. And so I love lyrics that are unclear and that you can interpret in different ways. And this has it and is also musically really, really good. And so I'll put this in the amazing tier, as you can see. Then next up, we have Kavala with Babylon. So a song about Babylon. Very, very deep and dark themes in these lyrics. Where there is darkness, fire, and pain. but it has a very monotonous beat. Again, it doesn't hold my attention for the whole 3 minutes, unfortunately. So I do like the lyrics, but it's just a bit on the boring side, unfortunately. Then we have the band with the best name I think I've ever heard. Keni Isn't Dead. So an obvious South Park reference. In Serbian, it's Keni, nije, mrtav. And the song is called Diamanti. It's about a one-night stand. Interesting topic. It's a cool rock song. It's very good at what it does. And it's great that it's in here to add a bit of variation. And it could actually stand out in the competition. To me personally, this is good, but also it isn't an outstanding rock song like Måneskin has a lot of those, for example. It's an okay rock song, but not really amazing. Next up, we have Nadia with Sudari. It's basically a mainstream pop song in Serbian, and it's all right, but doesn't really give me that much, so I'll put it down there. You can barely see it behind me, but you know that it's there. Next up, we have Hydrogen with Nemo Gucha Misia. This sounds a bit like Green Day, a bit of punk rock. Again, that it's good. It's good that it's in here for variety, but I think it's a bit worse or not as good as Diamanti, let's say. So I'll put it in the okay tier. Then we have Iva Lorens with the song Dom. It starts like a ballad and then the beat sets in, which is a nice surprise. I think it's about emigration because she sings, I better go somewhere far away. And now I'm alone here. I fit in too little for now, she sings at the end of the song, and that's where these very dissonant brass elements come in as well. So maybe giving you the feeling of being alone in a new place. So that's a nice touch. And that is why I'll put it in the great tier. The tier list is not working too well today. Then we have Zejna with Naj bolja. Interesting song. She sings Zejna is the best, Zejna is the best. So I guess it's a song about self-affirmation. If anyone knows anything about the backstory, I'm quite intrigued by that. I like the turbo folk elements like the flute, for example. But again, it's not too much, so I can still enjoy it. I like the variation this has within the song and also the variation that it adds to the competition. There are more pop parts that make me breathe, and then there are a few more turbo folk elements. So it's quite good, and I also quite like her voice. So I'll put this in the great, yeah, for now, great tier. Then we have Filip Baloš with Duga je noć, Long is the Night. He is returning after last year. I really liked his song last year, and this one is quite similar, I think. It's about a night spent together, maybe a one-night stand, I don't know. Turning off your thoughts and just enjoying the moment. It's very catchy. The beat is cool. There's a lot happening in the song, though. It's very wordy, too. There's these almost spoken word elements that he also had in his song last year. The backings are cool. There's this part where they have the wordy part without a beat, and then they repeat it with the beat. That adds a lot of depth and interesting layers to the song. So again, a song that I really, really like. So I'll put this in the great tier, and it's actually better than Naj bolja. Next up, we have Nemanja Radošević with Jutra bez tebe, Tomorrow Without You. It sounds very much like a retro Yugo song of yesteryear in a way, something that Croatia sent in the early 2000s in a way. It's not bad. It's good that this is here for variety and good that he does this kind of music. But I mean, it's not the most amazing song I've ever heard. Then we have Yanx with Kolo. This one is really interesting, a really intriguing tone in her voice, husky, really good. Sounds quite Oriental, Arabic almost to me. And it's quite hard to describe the song, but I do like it. If you haven't heard it yet, listen to it. I'll put this in at the beginning of the good tier. I'll have to rework a few things later, I think. And then we have Dosa with Tiny Sachin. It's pop bordering on rap, I guess. Good beat. Nothing too special, and I actually don't get the lyrics at all. So for now, sorry, but I'll put it in the not my cup of tea tier. Later on, I'll turn off my image so you can see all of them. Then we have Džordži with Luna Park. Luna Park is an amusement park in Belgrade, and he kind of compares being in love with being at an amusement park in the song, which I think is cool. I'll take you to my amusement park to forget about the sadness. The song itself is fine, pop rock, but not really a standout, so I'll put this in the okay tier. Then we have Dušan Kurtić with Spok tebe živim, Because of You I Live. I mean, a song like this has to be in a competition like this. I love the turbo folk instrumentation that the song has while it is a ballad. I really like this combination. It's great that it's there. For some reason, he switches to English at the end of the song. I don't really understand why, but this might surprise you, but I think this is actually quite good and fun to listen to. Next up, we have Teya Dora, who is probably the most established artist in this lineup, along with Konstrakta, and the most well-known, with the song Ramonda. Ramonda is a Serbian flower that grows in damper climates and is kind of known for being able to pass through long times of dryness. And then once you water it, it kind of revives again. And this makes sense with the lyrics of the song. It's about a very dark time. She sings, "Night won't let day come." She lost her guiding star. There's a white glow behind the hill which might allude to war, I think. The world is on fire. All flowers are on fire. Where are all the Ramondas? And the fact that it is a flower that can revive after a very difficult time is reflected because at the end, it kind of shows that a better day is coming. She has a very good voice. The song flows very nicely. It's very atmospheric again. But for me personally, it's a bit too much on the boring side. Great or good? Good, I think, because it just would have needed something a bit more oomph to make me remember more of the song. Now we have the one we have been waiting for. A lot of Eurovision fans have been waiting for, and that is Konstrakta with Novo Bolje, New and Better. It's a song about setting impossible standards for yourself and that you want to reach and you kind of can't. She's at the doctor's asking him, "Doctor, what is wrong with me? I want something new, something new, something new." And it is very Konstrakta in this way that it repeats words over and over again to drive the message home. It's also maybe a criticism of consumerism. Why do we always need something new? But also of this setting very high standards for ourselves, because she sings, "If I was smarter, I would have 2 breads instead of 1." So basically gaining more money, earning more money. And then she also sings, "The performance could have been better," so reflective of her as an artist. And then the sentence I like the most is, "The Pacific could have been more Pacific." Like you have to control the ocean. That is how impossible the standards are that we set for ourselves. Again, this song is almost more Konstrakta than In Corpore Sano was. This is more reflective of her style, I think. A lot is happening in this song. A choir, lots of word repetition. The singing and speaking style that is very particular to her is very obvious in this song. I have seen that some people have been disappointed, and I have been a little bit as well, because I had very high expectations. I loved In Corpore Sano. I love another song by hers, Evo Obachame, something like that. And this one just is not as great as these two, but it is still a good song. And I think there will be, if she is chosen, there will be lots of comparisons to In Corpore Sano, and this is not as good. The lyrics are also not as intriguing as In Corpore Sano, because there were so many different things to interpret. But as I said, I do still think that this is a very good song, very artsy, meaningful lyrics, so I'll put it in the amazing tier for now. And now you can't actually see her. Yeah, I'll turn myself off in a minute. Then next up, we have Milan Bujaković, Moje Tvoje. A good song, an okay song. This is kind of almost a Balkan ballad, but it's just a bit too boring for me. And then we have Musica by Durlanski. I don't know why I have him twice here. It's a very interesting choice to have this jazzy trumpet in the background, and then you rap in Serbian. Just for that, I'm gonna give him an okay. But I mean, it's still not the greatest song in the world. Let me turn myself off for a minute so you can see all of them. Koje Zejna is my favorite, definitely. No, very nice as well. Liku Gledalu. Also, I think Breskvica, sorry, is probably only great. No, Duke Not, Dom, and Naibolya. I think this makes sense according to my taste, at least. Let me know in the comments who your favorites are. And now I want to answer this question: who should Serbia send to Eurovision? Trying to be as objective as possible. And I kind of chose the songs I think will be some of the favorites and tell you what I think, whether they should go to Eurovision or not. First of all, we have Teya Dora. I think that she's an established name. It's an interesting song, but it's just a bit too much on the boring side. And we have to remember that Serbia has to make it through the semifinals, which are televote only. So you need a song that can appeal very much to the televote. And then for the final, you need a song that can appeal to both televote and jury vote. And I think this one would appeal to the juries probably, but maybe not enough to really have an impact with the televoters in the semifinal. Then we have Zorja. You've heard everything that I said. I think this is a beautiful song. It's very impactful, the way it builds and the way it's so dramatic. But again, it might not be instant enough for a televote-only semifinal, even though Serbia usually doesn't have that much of a problem to qualify. But that might be the only reason why I wouldn't choose her. Then we have Breskvica. Good. I think this has a lot of staging potential. It's a good song, catchy, and has traditional elements. So the problem here might be the jury, because we know that they don't really like these kinds of more traditionally influenced songs. Let's put it like that. Then I have Bojana and David. This is so fun, upbeat, like Hurricane, as I said in the ranking. So I think it could achieve a similar result, lower top 15 maybe. I would love this to be at Eurovision because it's just fun. And I think with a good staging, this could really be a lot of fun to watch. But yeah, the juries, again, might be a bit of a problem here. Then Konstrakta, I think a lot of people will want her to return to Eurovision. I think there's one reason I don't want that to happen, because there will be so many comparisons to Incorporazione. I kind of did it myself. Sorry about that. And also, I think it should be the moment for someone else to go, maybe. But if they choose her, I still think that she could do quite well. Lower top 10 could be possible. I don't think she will replicate the success she had with Incorporazione, because the Bit di Strada is just way too infectious and catchy, and that's why she got so many televotes, I think. And the message of the song is not as impactful as the one she had with Incorporazione. Now I'm doing it as well, comparing, sorry. So, who I would send to Eurovision is Filarri with this wonderful song. I think it could really work for both televotes and jury votes. It is impactful enough to qualify from the semifinal. It has this infectious beat that stays with you. It's very modern. It has a message. And if he is a better performer than he was last year, that is kind of important for this. And he has a good staging. He seems to have a new stage persona, maybe, when I look at that image. This could really work. And so my choice, my pick for Serbia would be him, Filarri. I think one of the rock bands would also be interesting, a new touch for Serbia at Eurovision. But in the end, I would go with Filarri. That is my opinion. Let me know who you would send to Eurovision if you were Serbia, and who you will vote for if you are from Serbia. And then please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this one. I do lyric interpretations. Let me know if you want lyric interpretations of any of these songs. I would be happy about that. And yeah, then I'll see you for my next video, I guess, if you do subscribe. See you then, and bye-bye.